And welcome back, everybody, to I'll Hang Up and Listen. Brought to you, of course, by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at 7 different Western New York locations. If you need a beer, make sure you get over to Fatty Beer. Let them know we over here at Two Goalies and Mike sent you. They are doing the seven days of Fatty right now with different deals for each day of the last week. I think they actually tomorrow might be the last day. I'm pretty sure that would make sense, right? If they're doing it this week. And they of course they have the Advent calendar, which is always a great buy. You get the 24 beers of Christmas. Please make sure you're following them at all their at their social media handles at Fatty Beer, on Instagram and Twitter. You can find them on Facebook too. I will say this, there isn't many better places in Western New York around the holiday season to spend not obviously like a holiday, but like I was there last night. Obviously, if you guys, those of you who tuned into the post game last night, I went live from Fatty Beer in Lancaster. Timbert was playing live music. Place was packed. Just an overall, just a great time, to say the least. So, always a good time over at Fatty Beer. And I always say this, and I'll say it every episode, that the FEM Mango Wheat is one of the best beers that they do have on tap. Always a favorite of mine, no doubt. So, and yeah, and of course, got to give a shout out to our sponsors over at Extreme Discount Mattresses, with Western New York's finest selection in mattresses and adjustable beds, featuring the Cool Gel Memory Foam, two-sided mattresses, Telele Latex, organic mattresses, Chatham and Wells, Scott Livin, and even the Skechers mattress, all for a third to half of the supposed sale prices anywhere. So stop in any of their 7 locations across Western New York, or check out their website, which is extrememattress.com, extreme with an X, if you're looking for even more savings. Check out the new closeout center at 1625 Walden Avenue in Cheektowaga with 80% off their already low prices. Save a fortune on one-of-a-kinds, closeouts, and floor samples. You can get a quality mattress for literally pennies on the dollar. So, Extreme Discount Mattresses. We sell mattresses for less, a lot less. And if you let them know that you are a fan of Two Goalies with Mike, when you go in to buy a mattress, they will give you a free, yes, I said free, matching mattress protector for your brand new mattress. So, the Sabres eke out a win tonight, 3-2, 8:00 puck drop, a little bit later than usual. I'm actually a little tired. It's been a long weekend, to say the least. But Sabres find a way to get a win against the red hot Minnesota Wild. I believe I read that they were 9-1 heading into this, and like their goaltenders like Gustafsson is technically like their backup, was like coming into this game, he had like a 920 save percentage, which is absurd, like absolutely absurd. And then what was it? What was his record? I think he was like almost undefeated this season, Philip Gustafsson. And then I think it's Jesper Wallstedt, I think I pronounced his name. Like he had like a 960 save percentage, something stupid. Obviously, they have a really good 1A, 1B situation. So even though you were getting Gustafsson tonight, like he's a starting goalie just about anywhere else with the numbers he's had. But you were able to, stick with it. You outshout them. You outchance them. You got some good saves when you needed them from Colton Ellis. You got some big bounces when you needed them on the Josh Doan goal, where I think it was Zuccarello threw the puck on accident into his own net. Can't remember the last time we saw something like that happen. But, Doan just put a shot on net. It bounced off the glass behind the net. Took a crazy hop off the boards, probably with the way that the puck was turning. Just gave it that momentum to get to the front of the net. And Zuccarello just kind of tried to guide the puck to the corner, or maybe just try to guide it down to the ice on his stick. And he, guided it right into the back of his own net. So, sometimes you need pucks to bounce your way like that. Malenstein gets on the score sheet too again, or some like to call him Malin Goat or Malin Beast. He got on the score sheet tonight. Noah Austin with an assist. And I'll go through the entire the score sheet, the box score right now. Alex Tuck with an assist, even though, costly turnover led to one of Minnesota's goals. He did get an assist tonight, though. Malenstein with a goal, Doan with a goal, Josh Dunn with an assist, Noah Austin with an assist, Peyton Krebs with an assist. And in regulation and in overtime, Colton Ellis with 22 saves on 24 shots against. But I think, especially in overtime, he had some big saves there. And I mean, Buffalo played a very good defensive game today. They gave up only, I think it was 3 shots in the third period. We talked about this game last night, even though losing 5-0 and it didn't go their way. Um, it didn't go their way last night, but I thought the Sabres were, the team that deserved to win last night as well against New Jersey. Just, bounces and, shots, just things that didn't go their way like it did tonight. And, you were able to get a win again over a very, very, very good Minnesota Wild team who's now 14-7-5 on the season. You improved to 10-11-4. Some interesting stats too. Not to. I saw this in our chat too, and I mean, this isn't me. I'm trying to continue to pile on Owen Power, but he's like scored. He hasn't recorded a point in the last 21 periods of hockey, which is over that span is 7 games. Not great to say the least. But I will say this: you didn't really notice Owen Power tonight, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. I've said this before. If you don't notice a defenseman, you don't hear their name a lot. Kind of like a cornerback in football, it's probably a good thing because they're doing their job. So I will say that Owen Power, he didn't play a bad game tonight. Just need to be more consistent, and he will be less of a whipping boy here in the city of Buffalo. And we're gonna get to some of the comments here too in the chat. From the Real Deal Primer, Colton Ellis, the Pride of Atlantic Canada. Ellis is the number 1 for the rest of the season. Lion is back at UPL. Best of luck at Edmonton. I'm I am done. I am done playing this game. Excuse me. I'm done playing this game when it comes to goaltenders. It takes more than one game for me to get you get on your side. Obviously last night didn't go Alex Lyon's way, but I would say that if you were to watch that game, if everybody watched that game, none of those goals were on Alex Lyon. Unfortunately, the Devils are a very good hockey team who took advantage of their opportunities last night, and we got shut out. The Colorado game, I don't even think about that because they just played god awful in the third period. No goalie was bailing them out. No goalie in the league was bailing the Sabres out of that game. So, if you just can't have goaltenders go such long stretches without playing and expect, I don't know the cliche saying is you always got to be ready to play, but for a goaltender, nothing really mimics real game play. And when you're not starting, you're usually practicing in, the non-starters net, not taking the majority of the shots that you normally would in a practice. And when you're already in a 3 goalie rotation, that means the goalie in the starters net is taking the majority of the shots, and then you're splitting whatever's left with another goalie. So yeah, it's difficult to really stay sharp when you're in this 3 goalie rotation, which just needs to end. It needs to end. I will agree with that. I think your best bet is to try to find a new home for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. From Wyoming Trout. Very fun game to watch. The Sabres were coming at the Wild all night. Yeah, they were the better team. Still doesn't change anything. We are a 500 team or worse. We need to change a lot. Couldn't agree with you more, Michael. Ellis has both road wins. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry. IIRC. Unfortunately, I thought both Power and Simmons had decent games. I agree. I definitely agree. I think and Power and Simmons. Oh, you mean Timmins? Sorry, I almost went with you. Yeah, Power and Timmins did have good games. Hopefully we see Norris on Tuesday. If not, the 13-game road trip that is 13-day road trip that is coming. Yes. We thought we were going to possibly see Josh Norris this weekend. Lindy was incorrect on that, but hopefully again we'll see him on the road trip at the very latest. Agreed. Start with trading UPL. Rostering 3 goalies is absurd, like the NHL point system for wins and losses and OTs. What do you think we can get for a power trade? Listen, if you follow me on Twitter, I went through this today. I think we'll talk more about it in the next episode of Two Goalies with Mike. But I did put a little bit of a mock trade out there today that got a lot of engagement. Um, and this is my own fault too, because I should have. I assumed that people who are familiar with the way hockey works, the way this league works, that when you make a big trade like this, that an extension would be already in place or already like preemptively agreed upon before making the trade. But I made a mock trade where you would trade Owen Power, Jack Quinn, UPL, their number one prospect in Costa Hellenius, and 2 first-round picks, this year, but it's a top 3 protected, and then next year for Quinn Hughes. Because Quinn Hughes is a Norris Trophy level defenseman. I think him and Dahlin as a pairing would be one of the most unstoppable pairings in league history. I think you wouldn't even need anybody to run your power play. You don't you can fire Seth Appert and be like, yeah, you guys go out there and run your own power play. Because who's going to stop those two quarterbacking the power play together? Who's going to stop those two? Find me a team with Tage Thompson or Alex Tuch, Zach Benson, whoever it is, in the forward group. I mean, it'd just be an incredible, fun power play to watch. And then of course, it would be contingent on Quinn Hughes being willing to sign a long-term deal with the Sabres. And that's my opinion. If and the reason I used Quinn Hughes is because there aren't any players of his caliber, what he has, the impact he has, that are ever available to you. There aren't. There's like find me any guys with no trade clauses that are the caliber of Quinn Hughes. They don't exist. They do not exist. Um, People like to say, "Well, Elias Pettersson, you're taking the wrong guy from Vancouver." Elias Pettersson, I don't care how good of friends he is with Rasmus Dahlin, he's not waiving his no trade clause to come here. He's not waiving a no trade clause to move halfway across the continent, not halfway, all the way across the continent, to a different country technically, to come play for the Buffalo Sabres. It's just not happening. It's not happening. I don't care how tight him and Dahlin are. It'd be one thing if the Sabres were already a perennial playoff team, but they're not. But Quinn Hughes, if you can find a way to convince that guy to sign a contract, I'd make that deal all day long. Power, Quinn, Hellenius, UPL, and 2 first lottery protected this year. And obviously with an extension in place, I would make that deal 10 times out of 10. Because again, you would have potentially 2 90-plus point defensemen on your hockey team running your power play. I mean, that to me is a wet dream. Thoughts on top 6 with Norris coming back? I think it gives you a lot more depth down the middle that you're going to need. I think moving Tage back to wing is a mistake. Kozak did not look good at center tonight. I would have Tage Thompson be your number 1 center and Josh Norris be your number 2 center and Ryan McLeod as your third line center where he belongs. And I think that the depth and the ability to produce throughout your roster changes dramatically in a good way. So that's how I would do things. Throw another 4. We can't lose another offense. That's it. I mean, yeah, and again, I see we need a goal scorer too, but who? Well, maybe Kiefer Sherwood. Maybe. I mean, he's like bottom 6 guy. I mean, I'm willing to give that kind of stuff up. I mean, Jack Quinn, I am not really going to lose sleep over Jack Quinn because then you can bring up Isaac Rosén, who in his time here this season has looked really, really good. I think he had like 7 points in 10 games. Just give that guy a shot. He was a former first round pick. You develop these guys long enough in Rochester. It's time, they were given a real opportunity. And I mean, I guess I'm not saying no to a trade of that caliber because of the scoring depth I might be losing by trading away Jack Quinn. That's just my opinion. Jason Robertson doesn't have trade protection. Yeah, but I don't think he's leaving Dallas. I don't think Dallas can afford to let that guy walk, especially with the season he's having. And again, teams like that, like Dallas, they don't trade players like Jason Robertson when they look like a cup contender. It's just not going to happen. Um, that maybe in like an off-season thing, sure. I mean, I'm not sure what that could look like, but as Dallas, in my opinion, is a wagon, and I think they're a legitimate cup contender. And when you're a cup contender, you just don't trade. You don't trade your best players. You just don't. Um, Again, to say the least. I love how armchair GMs think they know everything. You don't. Yeah, I agree with that. Norris, 52.4% career face-off win percentage. Yeah, he's going to be very available if he can take a face-off. That's how he hurt his, oblique again, was in the face-off circle, and Hughes won't sign an extension if he's traded. He's knowing he will be able to make his own call the year after. I mean, yeah, you can. We're talking hypotheticals. I'm like, we're doing this for shits and giggles. But for me, it's like, I don't know, overpay him, give him $12 million a season, $13 million a season, and maybe changes his tune on that. Also, I don't know what the New Jersey Devils cap situation will look like when his extension is up. Will they be able to afford him? Who knows? They might not be able to afford him. What a win. Feels good to play with a team like that. Ellis made big saves again. Did you know Matt Ellis coached 13? Yeah. He coached 13U before getting an NHL assistant coaching job. Quite the story. Quinn hit a post. His shots are fooling goaltenders. This team still sucks, and the record shows it. Again, it'd be nice to see them. And this is the thing too. When I was getting into it and getting debating, on Twitter earlier today, is like, do you guys really think this team is going to be a true lottery team and have a shot at getting Gavin McKenna? Because we're not going to finish worse than Calgary, the Predators, St. Louis, Vancouver when they blow everything up. At best, I think we'd be the fifth worst team if the season keeps going the way it's been going. Quinn is always hurt. Anyway, who cares? Send him away. You can trade Tuck. He got robbed 4 times tonight, and that costs a goal. He's not worth $11 million. You're getting robbed by a smaller player. Which 3 teams in the Atlantic are most likely to fade by the Olympic break? I mean, the Atlantic is just so tight right now. That's a tough question to answer. I mean, I think Toronto could find a way to bounce back at any moment when you have Austin Matthews, William Nylander, or Matthew Knies on your team, and John Tavares on your team, and the season John Tavares is having right now. Like, there's no I'm not going to count those guys out, even as bad as they've looked this season. So the Atlantic is tough to predict right now. How is Krebs on this team and not Rosen? Brutal. Ostlund 1-for-1 at career shot. We'll talk about that too, because the Ostlund shootout goal was so pretty. But yeah, listen, I think Krebs is up still in this lineup over a guy like Rosine, who was sent back to Rochester simply because they don't want to play Rosine in a 4th line role. And that's all they feel they have available right now, even though you can justify Rosine playing up in this lineup. I don't know. And for a team is struggling in the standings right now, I guess I just don't understand why you would. I mean, and I'm saying that with, I thought the 4th line played really, really, really well tonight. Really well. So, again, that is just my opinion, but, yeah, feels like Lindy isn't the problem. The only problem is the rest of the staff around him, especially the front office, who haven't given him a good roster. This team is showing effort. Yeah, we've had that conversation so many times that it's insanity that he was forced to inherit the previous staff. Find a great D coach who will be able to show power and others how to play effective D. It will be easier task. They need to cut goals against. Yeah, but like, I don't know, man. The things that Owen Power doesn't do in his own end are things that you kind of learn in house league, like that play I lost it on in the Pittsburgh game. Like, you're 6'6", that guy is like a few inches taller than you. You probably outweigh him by at least 30 pounds. Just get your stick under his, and use your body and your weight and your size to just force him out of the play. And like Owen Power kind of did like a Olay bullfighter with his stick and just let him by, and the puck ends up in your net. But we're not here to rag on Owen Power. The Sabres won 3-2 in a very hard fought game. A game I think Lindy Ruff would be really happy with, to say the least. Like, he was very big on the way the fourth line played. Malenstein once again getting on the score sheet. Always fun to see when those types of players find ways to contribute offensively. Because they do the dirty work. They block the shots. They stick up for teammates. They're not afraid to get dirty. Malenstein is a perfect example. Seeing guys like that get awarded, I'm sure it's really refreshing, especially for the rest of the team. Now, I'm sure they're really happy for the way he's played on this last couple, like, little stretch of games, going back to that beautiful goal he had the other last week, which was awesome. I forget who that was against. But anyways, we're gonna hit some of the comments here from Brian Koziel. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody to please make sure you, if you need a beer, make sure you get over to Fatty Beer. Let them know we over here at Two Goalies when Mike sent you. Their FEM mango wheat is off the charts incredible. If you're looking to plan some type of event, whether it's for a dog rescue, if you're looking to plan something for a charity event, they're always offer their services over at Fatty Beer. And honestly, during the holidays, just incredible vibes. Again, I was there last night and had a blast with the live music from Tim Britt. And they've had Cammie Clune there, the Sabres anthem singer. She was there like last week too. So again, it's always a fun time over at Fatty Beer. I frequent the one in Lancaster quite often, but the one in downtown, North Tonawanda, Kenmore, you can't go wrong. Orchard Park, Hamburg, and then now the new location in Amherst. So make sure you check them out. And as always, Extreme Discount Mattress.
We know with Skechers, your day starts with the comfort and support you need for your feet. And now that same innovation has made its way to the bedroom. Introducing the Skechers Sleep System. With cooling SketchKnit fabric, pressure-relieving Skechers Max cushioning, and our Skechers Posture Fit support system. Your day ends just like it began, with Skechers comfort that never stops. Skechers mattresses, exclusively at Extreme Discount Mattress, the lowest prices in the nation.
Thanks again. Shout out again to Fatty Beer and Extreme Discount Mattress. The only quotes we got so far from post game, and I'm assuming they didn't get a chance to talk to the players, are from Lindy Ruff. Ruff said they got a great game from the fourth line. He thought they played the game the right way and got rewarded with some breaks on the goals. Ruff said they did some research on Ostlund from the minors and how he has some sick moves in shootouts, hence why they picked him for their fourth shooter. Ruff said Ellis gave them a solid game. Thought he made 3 to 4 key saves down the stretch to help them get that win. So, yeah, 3 very good points. We talked about Malenstein quite a bit. I thought he's been, a great bottom six guy for them, especially over the last stretch of games. Noah Ostlund is here to stay. He has no business ever going back to Rochester. Don't even think about it, Kevin Adams. He needs to stay in Buffalo. He has earned his spot on this team. Actually, I'm curious how many points he has in the game so far in how many games, because he has been very good for them. The 21-year-old from Sweden has, let's find out here real quick. Now, I'm not sure if this is in fact updated, but as of right now, he has, I believe, 7 points in 18 games, which obviously at face value, isn't the greatest stat line. But, for a guy as a rookie who has played a little bit all over the lineup so far, I think that's solid. I've liked a lot of what I've seen from, and I added the point too, because I'm assuming that Elite Prospects probably hasn't updated that yet. But 3 goal, if that is in fact correct, that'd be 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points in 18 games. And he's a +1. So again, I've liked everything I've seen from him. And I'd like to see Rosen back in the lineup at some point. And then Colton Ellis just playing fantastic for them tonight. I mean, he didn't have a ton of shots, but in 3-on-3 overtime, which is very difficult for a goaltender to read, he came up with some huge saves. Had the huge save on Kaprizov to start the game where he outstretched his leg on the post after he almost nearly got beat on the wraparound. So Colton Ellis is, if this goes the way Lindy Ruff has been running things, I assume he would get the next start on Tuesday, which could be right before they go on that 13-day road trip. But we'll see. So that's all I really got for you guys tonight. I'm exhausted. It's been a long weekend. I always appreciate you guys popping in with me whenever we do go live after a game. The only times you really think we see us not go live is when these West Coast games that start crazy late at night. And, even then, I mean, I consider going live if the Sabres pull out an impressive win. So you guys have a great night. And as always, go Sabres. Talk to you later.